Before I give the mic to Pu Agnostos Theos, ladies and gentlemen, he is the grandson of a freedom fighter. And that is evident in the fact that he has not taken a step back to fight against the so-called majoritarian dominance against the minority Kuki Manipur. Sir, we owe a huge debt of gratitude to you for standing strong, steadfast to fight for a cause that makes so much of meaning to the Kuki people. We pray that God bless you and may you continue to stand for truth and fight for the Kuki people. As a sign of our acknowledgement, we would like to acknowledge you for your contribution and this booklet, which carries a whole lot of stories about this present-day genocidal campaign of Mr. Biren Singh-led Meitei government. Sir. Thank you, sir. Misadang namdang iding apang ipatyan ng ayuti. Over to Sir Agnostos Theos.
I'm in many ways very sad today. When I was coming here, I was run over by a lot of emotions because can it get any worse in this country that people have been brutally massacred, beheaded, children have been burned alive, and I don't even want to say many other things which have happened. But despite that, you have to come here and beg for your basic rights. Can it get any worse? Can it? The problem is that under this current regime, it can get worse, but it should not be allowed to get worse. Ten days ago, when we organized Manipur Ki Baat, in that the recently retired Chief Justice of the High Court of Manipur said one thing which shows everything that is wrong with our country and the problem with Manipur today. And he said, nothing could have prepared me for what I saw in Manipur. These are the words of the Chief Justice of the High Court of Manipur. Not anybody else. It's a constitutional position. The former Home Secretary, Mr. G.K. Pillai, said that Manipur today is like the wild, wild west. So we have gone back maybe a century, 100, 150 years, we've gone back. Manipur today is being compared to Darfur and Cambodia and Sudan. And the problem is that the citizens of this country are still sleeping. My friend, when introducing me, said we are thankful for fighting for the cookies. No, the fight is for India. Stop calling yourself by a small name. You are Indians. And entire India should fight for you. So in today's, whatever I say, I will also try to speak a little bit in Hindi so that this message goes out to the villages also, so that people know what this government is doing with the people of India. और अगर इस सबको रोका नहीं गया तो अगला नंबर आपका है। जब एक शरीर के किसी एक हिस्से में अगर कोई बीमारी होती है तो इलाज ना करें तो पूरा शरीर खराब हो जाता है. Manipur is an integral part of the body called India. An entire country needs to come forward for its correct treatment. But before I go further to the people of India, I want to request one thing from each one of you who's present here today. Each one of you has to share every single video which was made here today. In Manipur Ki Baat, we had the senior most people who understand this issue like the back of their hand come and speak for Manipur and for the country. Share that video with at least 100 contacts on your phone. Immediately you would have made this message go to at least 30,000 or 3 lakh or 30 lakh or 3 crore people around the world. Will you do it for me? Yes! So while Mr. G.K. Pillai also said that the double-engine Sarkar had failed, I want to go a step forward and say that the double-engined Sarkar conspired against the people of India and the people of Manipur. Yes. By handing over weapons to civilians and leading to this mass massacre which has gone on for nearly 2 years. In any civil society, was it possible that something like this would have continued beyond a couple of days? Sorry, I can't hear you. No. But it has been allowed to, and it has been facilitated to. Because this cannot happen without somebody intentionally and meaningfully and wanting to do so makes it happen. People don't even know in the country that the official number of weapons which were handed out, and I very clearly, categorically say handed out, these weapons of mass destruction were handed out because not a single bullet was fired when they were so-called being looted. What were the security forces doing? Is it an armory or a kindergarten school that somebody walks in and says, bye-bye, I'm taking 10,000 bombs with me? 7,000 guns, 7 lakh bullets, 14,500 bombs. This is the rough official number. The unofficial number is much higher, and we know how in our country, unfortunately, the statistics are hidden. According to an ex-army general, the number of guns is about 15 to 20,000. So Manipur is a very stark example of everything that's wrong with this country today. Manipur is not an isolated incident. It is the result of 10 years or more of hatred, of mob lynching, of discrimination, of divide and rule, and trying to tear away the fabric and the country. It is not an isolated thing. You have to very clearly understand this. And you have to now take the stand from a perspective of the country. You cannot say this is only for Manipur. This is for Manipur, this is for the Northeast, and this is for the entire country that we call and love, which is India. Will you all do that? Yes. Now, there are people who are very anguished and say that I'm an undercover agent. Well, I'm an above ground friend of Manipur, of every community, and of the entire country. And I will tell you that in this last 1.5 years, everything that I've seen is just beyond belief. There has been a misinformation campaign, which we'll come to later. But one of the biggest concerns for me is the person who's today in charge of Manipur, the Governor Ajay Bhalla. Now in Manipur Ki Baat, former Home Secretary Mr. G.K. Pillai gave the suggestion that the government should maybe roll out a 7-day period for everyone to surrender their weapons. This was on the 18th of March, and on the 20th of March, the governor actually rolled out that notice. Very, very few guns have come in. We don't know the number of ammunition. I didn't see any bombs which have been surrendered. But this, everyone should understand, is an issue of national security. It was under the same Ajay Bhalla, who was Home Secretary, that this entire handover of arms happened. After my representation to the President of India in December 2023 sent this letter to the Home Secretary asking for this issue to be addressed. That has never been answered. So this Home Secretary doesn't even bother about the President of India. My concern is that if a disease has been caused by, let's say, a doctor or an hospital, would you go back to the same doctor or the same hospital for your treatment? Unfortunately, today that is what the case is. The people who have caused this disease, who have caused this massacre, are now in charge of projecting that they are going to solve this. It is beyond me how they will solve it. They will be trying to find a way to keep themselves safe from not being arrested and being sent to jail. Every single person who facilitated this, from the top to the bottom, needs to be arrested and sent to jail. The things that I saw in the Supreme Court, the matter is not being listed. For 1 year, the matter was not listed. Despite numerous pleas, when you give them an application, they tell you this rule or that rule. But where were the rules when those arms were handed out? Where were the rules when people were being butchered and massacred? At 5 o'clock, sharp 5 o'clock, Delhi police and other agencies will come here and say, your time is over, the rule does not permit you beyond 5. I ask Delhi police and everyone else, why are these people even here? You have the audacity to stop people from even seeking and begging for their lives to be saved by saying 5 बज गए आंदोलन का समय खत्म, but इनको आंदोलन करना क्यों पड़ रहा है? A Kargil war veteran's wife was among the 2 ladies who were paraded naked and groped in public, and what all happened after that, I don't know. What message are we sending to the Indian Armed Forces? The war veteran was forced to say that I was able to keep the nation safe, but I could not keep my own wife safe. What message are we sending to people across the world? Army generals were giving out cries for help, who were in Manipur saying that, please help us. We have nowhere to go, nothing to do. This is what this nation has been brought down to. Can you imagine what impact it has on the armed forces? But yet, nobody is bothered. Policemen, paramilitary, and armed forces personnel have been abducted, killed, shot, kidnapped. Where does this end? Where do you draw a boundary line? I ask you, is there a boundary line? to this madness. This is the question not just about Manipur, this is a question about India's future. Do you agree with me? Yes. But those in charge are not even bothered. They are not bothered for civilians, they are not bothered for paramilitary forces, they are not bothered for policemen, they are not bothered for army, they are only bothered to fill up their own coffers. There is a lot of talk that this whole issue has connections to drugs. But an ADGP of Manipur, Ms. Brinda, very clearly has stated that who is at the top of this drug business. Who is it? No, I didn't hear it. But does it end at Biren Singh is the question. He is a BJP chief minister. So where is that money going? Isn't the BJP equally responsible along with everyone locally in the state? Wasn't it the duty of the Prime Minister to make sure that he doesn't go abroad but solve this problem? Yes! It's been 1.5 years, he has gone on numerous international trips, but he didn't have the time to meet BJP MLAs from Manipur who came to his doorstep begging to meet him. Can we get any more clear answer of priorities and culpability? In the past, I very clearly said that Biren and everyone else locally responsible, whether it's the DGP or the Chief Secretary, they must be arrested. But today, publicly, and I've said this on social media, but today publicly I'm saying the Prime Minister, the Home Minister, the then Home Secretary, the NIA and CBI chiefs, the NSA, they should all be arrested and sent to jail for life. In October, I called for a protest and called for their arrest. So the ACP of Tughlaq Road told Supreme Court will not do anything, you go to the ICJ, the International Criminal Court of Justice. So from this platform today, I am forced to go by his advice and reach out to countries around the world who have faith in justice to please take this issue to ICJ. Because only a country can file a case against another country for human rights violation and waging war against its own people or any other people. So whether it is Spain or South Africa or any other country which has the willpower and wherewithal to stand for justice, I urge you to take this matter now to ICJ, going by the very advice of the ACP of Tughlaq Road Police Station. In our Supreme Court, they have time for movie screenings. Amir Khan and his wife were invited for screening of a movie called Lapata Ladies. The Chief Justice of India, then Chief Justice of India, Chandrachud, he had the time to sit with them for 45 minutes after the movie and chit-chat, but he didn't have the time for people of Manipur and people of this country. Every single institution which was made to serve and protect has failed the people of this country today. So आज पूरे देश को ये समझना होगा कि अगर आप इस हादसे को, इस नरसंहार को यहीं रोकना चाहते हैं तो आपको यहां पे सबके साथ आके खड़े होना होगा। आप सिख हैं, ईसाई हैं, हिंदू हैं, सनातनी हैं, बौद्ध हैं, क्रिश्चियन हैं, मुस्लिम हैं, जैन हैं, या आप एक अध्यापिका हैं, या आप एक स्टूडेंट हैं, आप एक डॉक्टर हैं, आप एक वकील हैं, आप एक अकाउंटेंट हैं, आप एक बिजनेस ओनर हैं, या आप किसी भी व्यवसाय में हैं, आप सबको इस देश के लिए और मणिपुर के लिए यहां सबके साथ इकट्ठे होकर खड़ा होना होगा, क्योंकि अगला नंबर नहीं तो आपका है। कोविड में हमने देखा कोई भी सेफ नहीं था। ये जो धर्म की राजनीति करते हैं, क्या वो हिंदुओं को बचा पाए? 40 से 50 लाख लोग, WHO का आंकड़ा है कि 40 से 50 लाख लोग कोविड में मारे गए। मैं ये कह रहा हूं मारे गए क्योंकि सरकार की नाकामी थी। अगर 40 से 50 लाख लोग मरे तो उसमें कम से कम 80%, 75 से 80% हिंदू थे, जिनकी लाशें दफनाई गई, जलाई नहीं गई, और उसके बाद में गिद्धों ने और कुत्तों ने उन लाशों को खाया। लाशें नदियों में बह रही थी, लेकिन ये देश तब भी नहीं जागा। अगर आप तब जाग गए होते तो मणिपुर ना होता। अगर आप डिमोनेटाइजेशन के बाद जाग गए होते तो मणिपुर ना होता। तो आज इस पूरे देश को यह समझना है कि मणिपुर आपका एक अभिन्न अंग है, आपके शरीर का, और अगर ये कैंसर और बढ़ने दिया गया और उन्हीं लोगों के हाथ में रहा जिन्होंने ये कैंसर दिया है, तो ये कैंसर पूरे देश में फैलेगा। आज जो बंदूकें मणिपुर में हैंडओवर करी गई हैं, वो अरम्बाई तेंगोल के जरिए देश भर में फैल रही हो सकती हैं। अरम्बाई तेंगोल, जिसके पास आर्मी के जनरल्स का ये बयान है कि 90% बंदूकें जो मणिपुर में दी गई हैं, बंदूकें, असला, बम, वो 90% अरम्बाई तेंगोल और मेइतेई लिपुन के पास है। और आज वही अरम्बाई तेंगोल दिल्ली में अक्टूबर में उसने ब्रांच खोली, फिर चंडीगढ़ में ब्रांच खोली, फिर कलकत्ता में ब्रांच खोली। तो ये क्या बंदूकें साथ में नहीं ला रहे होंगे? और जो लोग कहते हैं कि अरम्बाई तेंगोल एक कल्चरल ऑर्गेनाइजेशन है, उसको हथियार लेने पड़े खुद की प्रोटेक्शन के लिए, तो उनको मैं ये कहना चाहता हूं कि आपने खुद ही इस चीज को प्रूव कर दिया कि सरकार ने वो काम नहीं किया जिसके लिए सरकार को चुना जाता है और असेंबली में लाया जाता है। तो सरकार ने दोनों पक्षों के साथ मतभेद किया और ये आग लगाई, फैसिलिटेट करी, जिसमें किसी का भला नहीं है, किसी का भी भला नहीं है। तो ये सबको समझना होगा कि जो सरकार खुद ही इतना असला, बंदूकें, बारूद, गोलियां, बम लोगों को दे सकती है, वो अगला कार्य क्या करेगी? और यही मेरा एक सवाल था NIA को। और यही सवाल मैंने मिनिस्टर ऑफ पार्लियामेंट्री अफेयर्स से भी पूछा, और उन्होंने NIA डायरेक्टर को यह चिट्ठी भेजी और कहा कि अगला क्या होगा? क्या इंडिया के न्यूक्लियर आर्सेनल जो हैं वो लोगों में बांटे जाएंगे अब? तो आपको ये समझना होगा कि ये जो मुद्दा है, ये पूरे भारत का मुद्दा है। 2 दिन पहले एक कॉन्फ्रेंस में था जिसमें चीफ मिनिस्टर ऑफ जम्मू एंड कश्मीर उमर अब्दुल्ला आए हुए थे, और वो कश्मीर में बढ़ती हुई आतंकवाद की घटनाओं की बात कर रहे थे। वहां मौका नहीं मिला, तो इस स्टेज से मैं उनको बताना चाहता हूं कि मेरी जो सुप्रीम कोर्ट में पिटिशन चल रही है, उसके सपोर्ट में ये एक एक्स आर्मी ऑफिसर्स की एक एसोसिएशन, और इस चिट्ठी में उन्होंने बड़ा साफ कहा था, इंग्लिश में है, मैं पढ़ के सुना देता हूं। Our organization fully support the petition filed by you in the Supreme Court to recover the looted weapons. With such a large quantity of weapons being looted and falling into the hands of bad elements, many anti-national forces can wage war against the nation. Pakistani intelligence organizations can send these weapons to the terrorists in Kashmir that can cause harm to the reputation and security of the country. These looted weapons pose a threat to the general public, security forces, and the nation. Also, the looted police uniforms can prove fatal for the security forces and the general public. ये वॉइस ऑफ एक्स सर्विसमैन सोसाइटी है, जो कि एक्स आर्मी पर्सनल की एक ऑर्गेनाइजेशन है. ये वो लोग कह रहे हैं. और ऐसी बतेरी और लेटर्स पैरामिलिट्री फोर्सेस की एसोसिएशन ने, एक्स पुलिस ऑफिसर्स ने दी, जिनको हमने सुप्रीम कोर्ट में लगाया, लेकिन सुप्रीम कोर्ट ने ये फैसला किया कि हम मुद्दे को सुनेंगे ही नहीं. वी विल नॉट लिस्ट द मैटर फॉर एन ईयर. लास्ट मैटर जब ये अरम्बाई tenggol की ब्रांचेस खुलनी शुरू हुई, तो फिर हम भागे और 1.5 महीने तक सुप्रीम कोर्ट से रिक्वेस्ट करने के बाद 9 दिसंबर को डेट मिली. और 9 दिसंबर की डेट में चीफ जस्टिस ऑफ इंडिया के रिटन ऑर्डर और वर्बल ऑर्डर इन कोर्ट कहता था कि नेक्स्ट डेट ऑफ हियरिंग शुड बी इन द वीक ऑफ 20th of January. लेकिन वो डेट नहीं लगाई गई. सो भारत के लोगों का जो इंटरेस्ट है वो कॉन्स्टिट्यूशनल इंस्टीट्यूशंस में है ही नहीं. इफ द कॉन्स्टिट्यूशनल इंस्टीट्यूशंस हैड द पीपल्स इंटरेस्ट and the constitution at the top of their mind, they would not have even allowed the BJP to contest the last 2024 elections, and this would have stopped right then. And despite filing an application with the Election Commission of India stating that these people who have given out weapons and who are causing such terrible butchering of people are qualified under every definition to be called as terrorists, should not be allowed to contest elections. But the Election Commission of India replied that we don't think that's the case. This is how biased every constitutional institution has become against the people of India. Whether it's the Chief Justice of India, whether it's the Chief Election Commission of India, whether it's the media. The media, Mr. Pillai also very categorically said that the media has failed in their role as the fourth pillar of the democracy. The media can go to Israel and cover the war there, but it cannot travel to Mali. That's why you have to become your own media. I want to remind you all once again that every single contact list. I also want to very categorically bring out 2 more things and then I'll conclude. First is about the ex-Home Secretary who is now the Governor. It was under the same Home Secretary that a war was waged against the farmers of this country and 750 of them died. With my own eyes, saw the NSG coming to one of the borders and doing a parade over there to scare the people. The second farmers' protest, they were able to fortify the state borders as if it's an international boundary, but they were not able to fortify police armories from where these weapons were given out. So I am greatly concerned about this man being there now. Is it an attempt to give him some kind of a protection of becoming the governor and then he cannot be prosecuted? But the bigger worry is that what will a man like this do next? So my very, very big concern is that he should be removed as the governor of Manipur. My very big concern is and demand is that the Prime Minister should resign. The Home Minister and the entire government should resign and all these top leaders should be arrested and sent to jail. Because this country will be run as per the rules and laws, not by somebody's whims and fancies. And the Constitution and the IPC and every other law states that if any crime has happened, the person responsible has to be booked and sent to jail and serve the term that they deserve. we also need to all think that should we all gather outside the Supreme Court now and sit there and say that listen to this matter and give the judgment which is needed for this country. The Supreme Court can form a committee of 7 judges to hear a matter about industrial alcohol, but not listen about the matter of the largest massacre and the biggest national security threat which has happened in modern India. These people are not human anymore. And they have turned humans into animals is what has been happening in Manipur. The very last point which I want to share with you is the saddest part to see how lawyers have behaved in court. In October, my own counsel, senior counsel Gopal Shankar Narayanan, on 2 dates walked out of the court in the middle of the hearing without uttering a word and without filing the documents which are supposed to be filed. That delayed the matter, and then the matter was not listed for 1 year. I want to categorically say that lawyers like this should be debarred by the Bar Council of India. My own AOR, Anandita Mitra, she also walked out despite promising that documents will be submitted at least. Both these lawyers should be removed, and I wrote to the Chief Justice that moment that this is what they're doing. Are they being pressurized? Are they being threatened? Or have some other interest come up? But the Chief Justice of India did nothing about that. Similar thing on 9th December, Advocate Balraj Singh Malik, I had a lot of faith and confidence in him that he will take up the matter which is required because he's very vocal. But he did not utter a word about Arambai tenggol in court. And later on he says, the council is not a spokesperson of the petitioner. Then what are you? Such lawyers are a threat to our national sovereignty and integrity, and they should all be debarred by the Bar Council of India. I could really go on and on, but I only want to request all of you to not keep this matter as a matter of Manipur only. Because this matter is a matter about the entire country. But now this is a matter which is not just about the country, because these weapons are being exported out of the country as well. So these weapons may be getting used for killing people in other countries also. And yet nobody is bothered. All these weapons have been made in India. We talk about made in India, make in India. These weapons are made in India and are being used against the citizens and against other people. So this has to stop now. And you have to raise a voice and call for across the country for people to come and join this important mission. Thank you for giving me the time. I have so much more to say. I could speak for 2 hours. But let me just end with the senior most councils of the government, the Attorney General and the Solicitor General. In June of 2024, they went to Geneva, July of 2024, they went to Geneva and made a statement that in the United Nations Human Rights Council, they made an official statement on behalf of the government of India, saying that in matters of public interest in the Constitutional Court, even the locus standi is not supposed to be proven. But in the same Manipur matter on 9th December, screaming at the top of his voice, the Solicitor General Tushar Mehta asked the court not to listen to me because according to him, I am a Sikh gentleman with a Christian name who runs a business chamber, lives in Delhi, so I have no locus. These are the lies and the level of lies that these guys operate at. With a very sad heart, I have had to now file a complaint against the Solicitor General of India, the Attorney General of India, and the Government of India for propagating lies in the United Nations as well. So entire Manipur has showed everything that's wrong with India, and all of us need to come together to fix this country. I want to remind you of your history. Another person who spoke earlier said that you have fought against the Britishers. I've said this earlier here. I want to remind you again, the Kuki were part of the Indian National Army. Where did the Indian National Army start its campaign and its fight back against the British? Where did it start? How many of you know this? Manipur. Where? Manipur is that important for this country, and you guys are that important for this nation. So no matter whatever somebody else does and tries to push you, hurt you, harm you, remember your glorious heritage. Remember your forefathers. Remember the sacrifices that they have made for this great nation. And let's all today take a pledge that this nation of Bhagat Singh, of Rajguru, and all the other freedom fighters, we will together fight to make it a great nation once again. Thank you. God bless.